Well, I think that we as humans, we have been always searching for knowledge. We have been from the beginning of time and from the beginning of our life trying to understand. Well, I am Leandro Erlich. I am an artist from Argentina. I will be presenting a large exhibition at CAFA Museum in Beijing. It will be actually the largest exhibition of my work ever. The selection of the work really trying to make a large presentation which will allow people to understand my search and my interest, a kind of journey that I started a long time ago and that I feel now is a good point to present in this way.
Antológica que reúne obras de distintos periodos de Leandro, pero todas están perforadas por ciertos tópicos que son comunes en sus búsquedas artísticas y poéticas. Un diálogo entre obra y uno comienza a ver cuáles son los vínculos y los diálogos que se generan entre las obras, y también uno empieza a ver cuáles son las obsesiones del artista o los temas recurrentes en su poética. Claramente vemos que es un artista que trabaja, digamos, en la poesía espacial. La mayoría de sus obras son espacios recorribles por el espectador y vivenciales.
Corridor, I think it's a magnificent architecture. The architecture itself has been guiding the layout of this exhibition. Not any work could go anywhere. I am considering the context as a crucial element in order to the work to be either created, sometimes it's a source of inspiration as well.
でそれはやっぱり今さっきも申し上げましたが、美術館の中では非常に美術のディティールというか非常にコンセプトをやっていますが、現実はコンセプト通りが展開できるようにそんな簡単なものじゃない。だから都市っていうのはすごい再開発の中でぐたぐたになってるし、あるいは自然とかそういった田園っていうのは相当壊されているし、でそういう現実の矛盾がある場所にエルリヒは出てって、それでなおかつそこに対する自分なりの批評をしているというふうに思っていますね。だからそれはアーティストとしては非常に珍しい、なおかつ勇気のある態度だというふうに思っています。でそれについて彼はあまり何も言わないけどもやっていることはかなり批評的ですね。
I have created this building, the facade building project in several cities around the world. This project has been changing depending on the context, always trying to find local architecture. So when this project was created for the first time in 2004, I made it in Paris with a typical French facade. But when I arrived to Beijing, this was a new opportunity to create something new and different. If continuing with this exploration of looking for the local and the familiar architecture, it will lead me to choose something like from a Huton type of architecture, either traditional Chinese or something very, very futuristic. as you find in Beijing today. But I thought a lot about what kind of facade will be able to speak beyond the representation of something that is familiar. And I realized that a Chinatown type of building is a very symbolic piece, because as a Western artist, the first time I traveled to China wasn't to mainland China, it was to a Chinatown. And I realized that Chinese people as well is quite interesting when the people travel to visit a Chinatown in another city, because there is something familiar yet very different. And I think that it's interesting as a foreign artist to bring back to Beijing something that has been somehow born in China, but has traveled abroad, has been transformed into something else in a world that is already globalized, and bring it back to the birthplace. I think that as humans, we need to imagine something. We have to build an image in our brain. And I find that it's very possible that clouds has been maybe the first element in nature we humans have associated shapes, forms to something that we knew. And this is quite particular because I don't think in any other animal in the planet that has the capacity to create this level of association. A particular shape in the cloud, from my point of view, is the first work of art. Is the capacity from a natural shape, a natural order, also very ephemeral, to recognize something that we only can see in our brains. This is a window and ladder. I mean, the first version I made of this work was created for the biennial in New Orleans. It was just after the Katrina hurricane in 2008. Erased a large part of the city. And that was actually the inspiration to create this series of work. As it's impossible to hold a house up in the air, sometimes I feel it's impossible to hold on things that are lost. And in this case, this is a fragment of a house that relates to Asia. This is a work that speaks about history and it speaks about our memories. So in order to do so, I found inspiration in those houses that little by little are disappearing from the center area of a big metropolis such as Beijing. But when these houses go away, I find that there's something that we never think about architecture as an organic, as our life is. Therefore, this fiction about a building, a house that has been removed, but you can still see the roots of our memories and the roots of our history.
En esta exposición, como decía, hay obras de distintos periodos históricos, pero hay varias de ellas que tienen un anclaje con la cultura local. Obras como Lost Garden, que es un jardín oculto, también de características de la arquitectura tradicional china. Y Elevator Pitch, que es una obra de un ascensor donde uno va viendo escenas cotidianas de la gente que se encuentra, también está realizada con personas locales. Entonces eso le da un anclaje, me parece, muy interesante, que permite que las obras resulten más familiares ante el espectador de aquí, de China. creo que sea el artista que piensa un plan teniendo en cuenta todas esas lecturas, sino que el artista hace su creación y hay un montón de cabos sueltos que después son recogidos por la sociedad, completando de alguna manera la obra del artista. No creo en el artista omnipotente que maneja todos los sentidos últimos de su obra, sino creo que más que el artista pone sobre la mesa una situación, una problemática, de una manera poética, y después la obra va dejando de ser suya para ser tomada, más que dar respuestas, propone preguntas que quedan abiertas y que nos quedan resonando a los espectadores en la cabeza por mucho tiempo.
Creo que para todos, y especialmente para mí, en todo caso hablo por mí, es una experiencia inolvidable y estoy sumamente conmovido de poder estar acá representando a mi país.
Every artist is living in the center of the world. So every artist is influenced by everything, what is outside of him and what is inside of him. And therefore, every artist is connected with his perception and not only with art history. And the artists who are interested for us as a visitor, and I see me as a normal visitor, is what this artist has to say, what I can use in order to understand myself and what happens outside of mine. And this is something what Leandro is doing with a language which can be understood by everyone. And I would say there is perhaps a connection with Maurizio Catalan. The humor, it's different of course, but there is a kind of humor in the pieces of Leandro. What Maurizio Catalan is doing is using the language of things around him, but he creates something what is different. And this kind of creation, what he is showing a strange side of something, is what let us look on it with more attention and what let us think about it in a deeper way. The art pieces of Leandro are very alive because the people are coming and working and using the artworks, and they make their own experiences. And perhaps one day they start to think about it and they realize it's not only fun we have really, but it's more than fun. There's something behind this fun. And this is, I find it very interesting.